stop the army from moving, you can get a lot more damage in. But at any rate, we are moving into our next game. Abstinence continues, and Schnitzel is taking over for Snake Hips. We do have a bio on Schnitzel from StarCraft Ascension. He is a longtime member of the B team, and he's currently one of the top-ranked masters in North America. So, oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading Snake Hips.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's Grandmaster.
Yes, so sorry, he's a longtime member of the B team, and he originally played for Team OGK in Wings of Liberty. He achieved Grandmaster in the last season of Wings of Liberty, and then was not able to reattain it when Heart of the Swarm came out, but this season was able to reclaim his Grandmaster title. He has been working hard and had great patience, so he is a great player, and we should be able to see some great play from him. But is it going to be enough to take out Abstinence?
Abstinence with just fantastic play in that last game is really... he was just in control of the game the whole time is the only way to put it. Did not allow his opponent to really get any foothold. Just wasn't able to expand his creep in the beginning, wasn't able to expand like he wanted to. Just a really great way to play, and we'll be interested to see what we see in this next TVT. But I think before we move forward, should we give out our second code, or should we wait till after this game?
And it looks like chat's really clamoring for those fruit snacks.
Well, you're going to have to clamor a little longer because we're going to give it to you after game number 7, which is what we're going into right now. In our upper right-hand-ish corner at the 2 o'clock position is going to be our blue player coming out for StarCraft Ascension. His name is Schnitzel.
And in the 8 o'clock position, coming from Team Pulse, in the red trunks playing Terran, it is Abstinence.
This is our first TVT of the night. A lot of, so far, and I keep saying this every week when we have TVTs, but in Wings of Liberty, TVT was the most boring thing in the world for me, but now in Heart of the Swarm, I actually love TVT. I hate playing Terran, but I love watching TVT.
It's gotten very interesting. We've seen some very tense matches in previous casts that we've done. And Abstinence has really, we've seen him before. He's done some great plays. It'll be really interesting and I'm excited to see the play that he's going to come out with here because he is just such a great player, has beautiful micro. We'll see if Schnitzel is able to rise to the challenge.
Great name, too.
It is. And it's a delicious name, a delicious food. So those Germans know what they're doing when it comes to food and beer.
So it looks like our first deviation here is going to be a gas for Mr. Schnitzel, as Abstinence going right into the barracks production. The barracks obviously delayed a bit by Schnitzel by the gas, and it's going to be Reapers for Schnitzel almost guaranteed, while it's going to be Marines for Abstinence.
That's right.
This is such a cool map, too.
I really...
this third base here where it's actually underwater.
Yeah, I do like this map. It's a bit goofy, but it makes me laugh every time I see it.
And this road around the back, always fun times.
Yeah, there's a lot of neat pathing, and I like the look of it with the beachfront property. Definitely feels like a Zerg invasion of a Terran planet.
And this is the StarCraft 2 Community Team League. For those of you that have joined us recently, it is focused on 100% pointed at the community, so we try and make this as much about the community as possible, introducing these players, these teams, to you that may not know them. So we go into the bios, the backgrounds, all the fun information so that you can know who they are as they continue to go through this league, follow them on Twitter, get to know them. So there's a lot of really high-class players in this league, actually, and a lot of people that really seem to be just on the cusp of really breaking out into the big time.
Yep, mark my words. You start following some of these players here, you will see them on big stages in the near future, based on the level of play that we've seen coming through the tournament thus far.
From what we've seen, some of our bios, actually a decent number of the players have competed in like the MLG Open brackets. Not that they'll be competing at the MLG Columbus Open bracket, but they've definitely completed on some big stages. Haven't made it all the way necessarily, but a few have made it real close to being on those big streams.
Mm-hmm. Starport coming down from Schnitzel now. He does have a factory. He does have a barracks, so we are seeing that HOTS 111.
Yep, it's going to be Marines, Mines, and Medevacs. I'm guessing we have seen a bit of a deviation towards the Hellions, but much more frequently it's the Mines, as I think Hellions are a little bit more advantageous against Zerg.
Absolutely.
But, if you can get a mine early in the mineral line, as you know, that one of the biggest things I can do is either A, burn a scan, that's one less mule, or B, kill a heck of a lot of SCVs.
Yep. And we are seeing pretty much the exact same play for both players now.
Yeah, it's just going to be a little bit delayed from Abstinence because he got his gas significantly later.
Oh, it looks like he's going to be swapping the tech lab that he built on his factory for that starport, so probably Banshees, right?
Banshees. Yep, there goes down Cloak for Schnitzel. In the past, when we've seen this early Marine mine drop, it's usually been followed up by the Banshee, so interesting to see him go right straight away for that.
And you know, Abstinence is doing the same thing. I mean, we're going to see the exact same play from these players.
Very cool. It's nothing like seeing Banshees going at each player.
Widow Mine being produced for Abstinence.
So Abstinence is going for the Banshee and the mine at the same time.
Yeah.
What would be interesting is to see this mine actually go in the mineral line here, and then when the Banshee of Schnitzel comes, he could scan, and that could actually kill the Banshee. That would be one way to go. Schnitzel now putting down a command center, so he's going to be hoping to expand behind this as a second. Oh, it looks like his second choice is going to be a Raven, so that will be definitely putting a bit of the pinch on Abstinence, because Schnitzel's going to have detection for the Banshee that's going to be coming out.
Yep, that could be the thing that changes the way that this game is played. There is a mine in a really great spot for Abstinence, almost as though he is expecting a Banshee play, and they are high-fiving. But that...
There's a Raven coming out for Abstinence also
Banshee
now, but
might be in range of... Oh, just outside of the range of that Widow Mine. That could have been huge.
Yeah, there's going to be a Raven coming out for Abstinence as well, but it's going to be significantly later than Schnitzel's. This Raven's going to be finishing up just as the Banshee of Abstinence gets into Schnitzel's base, so...
And those Marines are well in place. That Banshee is not going to do anything.
Yeah, Schnitzel's definitely getting a lot of SCVs killed here by this Banshee. Abstinence had some scans here, so I'm surprised he didn't use them, but he opted to wait for the Raven to thwart that away as he puts down his second command center. But he's still got the energy building up on his command center, so he hasn't used it for mules, hasn't used it for scans. I would have thought that once he got that Raven out, he'd be putting down those mules right away, but he's got something in mind. Oh, there comes the mules. Two of them right away. So Banshee's both very active. Schnitzel did get 8 SCV kills, so that's...
You gotta wonder if that's worth saving all that energy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I definitely thought when those Marines were in position to, if nothing else, thwart it away, that we'd be seeing those scans go down, but... Neither here nor there. Schnitzel is going to get his expansion down a little bit sooner, so he's going to be also transferring workers. He's got 15 in his main, and he's going to have 9 at his expansion, so he's going to have 2 pretty saturated bases here pretty soon.
Schnitzel's Banshee all healed up by those SCVs, is moving across the map again, going to try and get some more kills. But there is a Viking and a Raven kind of hanging out outside of Abstinence's base, so this could get picked off before it does much.
Corporal Banshee on the way. Like Abstinence using the Marines to guard this expansion here as he puts it down. The income is definitely going to be a lot higher for Schnitzel as he's got that base, but as Abstinence gets this down, puts a couple mules down, he's definitely going to catch up pretty quick.
Banshee did get another kill. Marines are moving forward, but they don't have the Raven there yet. The Raven does come forward, though, and the Viking is there to greet it, so that Banshee may go down. But they are a little bit faster than the Raven is.
Yeah, I was actually just looking to see what the movement speed is. Is that 275 for the Banshee and 225 for the Raven. 27. So the Viking is exactly the same speed as the Banshee, but the Raven is in fact a bit slower. So.
And Abstinence using the same play that Schnitzel was just trying, but Schnitzel does have 3 Vikings and a Raven, and that Banshee is getting dangerously close, taking a lot of shots. Goes down. Gets a few shots off before dying, but there's just too much DPS right there.
Banshee's definitely keeping both players busy. Schnitzel is a bit supply blocked at the moment. Looks like his supply depots do just finish up. But Abstinence nowhere near supply blocked. He's got all of the supply, sitting at 66 of 97.
And there is a lot, I mean, very similar builds coming down from these players. We got similar upgrades. It just seems like Schnitzel's are a little bit faster.
Schnitzel's is a little bit faster because he... you know, the early deviation that Abstinence took of just put him a little bit behind. So But it looks like Armory is going to be coming down for Schnitzel as well. So is he going to make a bit of a mech transition here?
Or just getting upgrades for those air.
Yeah, Abstinence is continuing to produce tanks. His ground upgrades, getting turrets down to protect against any further Banshees, although both players seem to have fully abandoned that path. Single Marine walking out to make sure there's nothing hanging around. Check for third bases. I don't know if you've seen, but when there's actually a base here, it looks like the workers are like wading through the water. Schnitzel going to be the first to put up his third base, which is probably what you were just going to say.
Actually, I was saying it looks like he's kind of gearing up to rally his units and maybe move out a bit. And it looks like Abstinence is getting ready to take his third as well.
Yeah, it looks like Schnitzel is really taking an economic lead here, as Abstinence has his second base fully oversaturated while his main is quite undersaturated.
Yep, that it's likely due to some of that Banshee hit that he took on the early game, but he has not noticed. He's been busy looking at other things.
Schnitzel putting down a sensor tower to make sure he knows when things come in range of his base. Cloaked Banshee coming in. There's no tower at this base, so if he went in there, he could get a few.
It almost looks like he's
kills.
just using it to scout right now, though.
Yeah, he definitely.
Oh, and the Raven and the Viking are right there, so
Watch
they've got
out.
that Banshee's got to be careful. Is doing some damage to those Marines. Does get 2 Marine kills, but a scan goes down. Not sure if I agree with that move with a Raven right there. Another scan goes down.
Slash
Banshee
asking
does
in
die.
chat what the score is. It's 3-3 at the moment. Both teams are tied best of 9 series, so first to 5 wins. Looks like Schnitzel's going to be making a big push coming up the middle here.
And
Both
those
armies
tanks-
are going to collide. The tanks taking a few pot shots on that first
Oh,
tank. Not
and
going
they
to get anything.
sieged up in range of the tanks. Those Marines are moving forward, and they taking big damage, but doing so much damage. Abstinence is really cleaning this up, and Schnitzel's going to be forced to retreat with those medevacs, not getting much out of there.
And that might be what Abstinence needed to get back and even in this game now, as the food counts are exactly evened up, as Abstinence was behind there for a while. Schnitzel's going to have to start getting this third base going to try and get back up. If we look at the income, both players are, I mean, not crazy disparity. Schnitzel is definitely about 600 ahead in minerals and a couple hundred ahead in gas. But Abstinence is moving out with his army.
And it's possible that he'll run into the same situation that he just defended against with that tank being sieged up, but he does have a forward Marine to kind of scout things out to see what he's walking into. And those Marines are moving a little bit forward.
Yeah, the Marines are now in range of the sensor tower, so he knows they're there. He knows what's going on. And
More Marines and tank coming forward for Schnitzel, but the Abstinence's tanks are sieged up. He has a huge tank advantage here, so caught off guard, this could be big. Point defense drone and seeker missile going down. That seeker missile, oh, great
Nice.
play by Schnitzel, moving the Marine that was targeted out of the way, so that splash damage is not very...
Oh, look at the Hunter Oh, that Hunter
that was
Seeker missile
beautiful.
did more damage to the Vikings and Raven than it did to the actual. That's a great play.
Yep, moving that Raven right into the flying units of Schnitzel. But Schnitzel is able to clean up the Vikings and the Ravens.
So the
and
question is,
Abstinence
if
decides
one
to
point
move out.
defense drone shoots the attacking projectiles of another army, does the other point defense drone shoot the projectiles of the other point defense drone?
There's got to be a better way to phrase that.
I know.
Got to be a better way to phrase
Do
that.
the point defense drones counter each other? Seriously, I want to know.
I do not know. It kind of sounds like one of those like Zen riddles, you know, like what is the sound of one hand clapping, or if a tree falls in the woods, doesn't
Oh,
it?
looks like Schnitzel a bit out of position. Gonna have a stim by Abstinence come up here and take out a lot of the units by...
Oh, those tanks were not sieged, and now retreating the Marines to try and get the other Marines in range of the tanks. But those tanks are falling, and Schnitzel's really cleaning up Abstinence here.
Yeah, the line of Marines by Schnitzel were not ideal. Were ideal for Schnitzel, but not ideal for Abstinence, as those tanks were not able to do a lot of damage since the Marines were very spread out. So that stim really got him up on there. You know, honestly, on this map, what I'd really like to see is the Marines just stim right into the lawn chairs.
But Abstinence does have a strike force of Marines walking up the back end side. Schnitzel does have a single Marine there, so he is going to know that it's coming, and they are going to walk in range of that sensor tower. It looks
Yeah.
like they were almost there to scout to see if anything was coming his way.
Army
But
supply now greatly in favor of Schnitzel at 105 to 88.
Schnitzel has a huge army moving out here. There's not really a lot that Abstinence has to be able to deal with this.
Yeah, Schnitzel's economy has definitely taken a hold and gotten him a big advantage here. It's going to be about 5 tanks to 2, which is not going to end up in favor of Abstinence. Abstinence ends up just GG.
Yep, GG.
Wanted to look real quick at the upgrades here. It was +1 attack for Schnitzel and 0-0 for Abstinence. So being well behind in the tank count, as well as also having inferior upgrades, is a problem.
Yep, that was not a comfortable position for Abstinence. You know, they had very similar builds, but Schnitzel was just able to get some better trades in the early game, which allowed him to get a lead that he took advantage of to get ahead in the upgrades, which ended up paying off really well for him in the later game.
So, since we promised, it's now time to give away that code for the wonderful prize of some naturally flavored fruit snacks in a satchel and a marble.
All right.
So if you take yourself to SC2CTL.com/code, you can enter the code enter
already
the
gave that
code
away.
PULSE.
Yes.
Making sure we give away the right code. So SC2CTL.com/code. The second code of the day is PULSE, and if you missed the first code, it's .SCA. Nick is going to type that into chat for you.
I thought it was .SCAB.
Yep.
Whoops, I typed it wrong. Disregard the previous one. There it is. Thank you, Eben Woman.
How do you say that anyway? Eben Woman?
Eben Woman? I don't know.
So going